Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falcon.
Bonus content.
Hello. I went digging through my disc collection and pulled one out I haven't watched in a long, long time.
What's that?
It was a movie I went on a mission to find in like two ways years ago. You know, you remember bits and pieces of movies, but back in the day you had to kind of like let it go if you couldn't remember what it was. I don't know how many years ago this was, but I hit the internet, and it didn't take me long to figure out what this movie was I was remembering from my childhood. And it was called Buried Alive. It was a TV movie. It's from 1990, so we were 7. At least
old.
At least the first time it aired. So then, of course, I went to go try to find it, which, you know, there were no streaming services at the time. There was no... I think this was before even like iTunes, before you could download movies, you know. So I went, there was Amazon, so I went hunting, and I couldn't find this fucking movie, dude. And I finally found it as a Spanish language import, which means, you know, it just defaults to having, I think, defaults to Spanish subtitles. You just turn them off. But the case was, you know, in Spanish and everything, and I got it as a DVD, so I owned it. And, when I started watching it, and I'm like, fuck, I wonder. So I went and looked for it now, God knows how many years later, and lo and behold, there was a $12 Blu-ray version on Amazon.
It made the leap?
Yeah, after all that hunting and scraping and settling, I ended up finding it nice and cheap for Blu-ray, and it looks great. And I kind of did the same thing years ago with Barfly too, right? That Mickey Rourke movie. You haven't watched that yet.
I have to watch that.
I ended up getting like a Greek import of that. That was the only way I could find that. But anyway, Buried Alive. Fucking, I might have seen this when it aired.
I have no knowledge of this movie.
Right. It's a really good movie, shockingly so, right? And the reason it's good, I think, is also the reason it should be remembered. It's, you know, Frank Darabont, the director, right?
Yeah.
This is his first movie.
Oh, a debut.
Yeah, it was a TV movie, a made-for-TV movie, but this is his first one. And, you know, it shows that there's someone really good behind the camera. It's a tight, like, taut adult thriller with it could have come off really hokey, you know, and it's got kind of a oddly enough, it's got like it's like a Stephen King meets Poe kind of story, but, you know, as far as you can go for like a network television movie at the time. All right. Now, like, I'll spoil it a little bit for you, but I mean, it's kind of in the title, but there were certain parts of this thing that really freaked me out when I was a kid, and I carried them with me for a long time.
Boy, one of those?
Yeah, and we've talked about this before, like movies you see when you're a kid, and they introduce concepts just because it's the first time you've come in contact with that concept as a kid, right? It might be a trope, it could be a cliche, but it's brand new to you, and like I had never thought about like being buried alive. Like it wasn't like a real concept for me. You know, I guess I had seen The Mummy maybe, but like, you know, that's different. Doesn't really translate. And like this was a cemetery and a coffin, and you saw him wake up in the coffin in the fucking dark.
Yeah, that's freaky.
Water leaking through the lid because it's raining. Yeah, it was pretty freaky. Jason Leigh is in it. Tim Matheson, you know him?
Tim Matheson.
Yeah, he was in, well, I mean, his most famous thing is he's in Animal House when he was young.
Oh, okay.
He's one of the main dudes. I think he was Van Wilder's father. And Van Wilder. A bunch of little stuff here and there. And, He was really good in this. Definitely a more dramatic role than he usually catches. But, dude, I don't know. There's something about this movie. Like, there's certain fears that it taps into. And like I said, all
Claustrophobia.
Claustrophobia, but all these other ideas that I had never... Like, you know how the poison blowfish thing, like, it has to be prepared the exact right way.
Like in the sushi restaurant?
Yeah. And, you know, there's in murder mysteries, there's often something similar is used as a, you know, murder method. Well, I had never seen anything like that before, but this had that in it.
I learned about that from The Simpsons.
See, yeah, it's a trope. But again, in 1990, it was new to me. And the bad guy is the redheaded prick from Ghostbusters, Walter Peck.
Oh, Peck? My name is Peck.
He's fucking an excellent douchebag villain. He's fantastic.
He played that role well.
And it's a really small cast. It's like 3, 4, 5. I think only 5 speaking parts. But it manages to be a kind of a surprising, really tight thriller, man. Like, and it's got, you know, stakes, and there's an arc. You know, it's genuinely creepy as it could be. Like I said,
there's a what?
You know, an arc. There's
an arc. Oh, okay.
There's an arc.
So you said an arc.
Like, it sets you up to hate certain characters, right? And it feels a little too obvious when it starts. You're like, yeah, I get it. They suck. They're doing this and that. They're bad people. But it keeps revealing new shit all the way into the third act about the bad guys. I don't want to, like, destroy this for you. You could watch it. But it just makes you hate them so much more, you know? And it makes the final act super satisfying. And
well, let me ask you, what made you seek out this movie that you hadn't seen in a zillion years?
A memory of one or two particular scenes. There's a scene where a character has seriously messed up his hands, like cut them up real bad, both of them, and he plugs a drain in the bathroom sink, fills it with a bottle of peroxide, and like puts a towel in his mouth and plunges both of his hands into the sink full of peroxide, and they just sizzle. Like, the whole thing starts bubbling, you know? And that made an impression on me. And, like, every time I've had to, like, do self-surgery or whatever, I've thought of that scene, to be honest.
Now, was this also, did you remember this and think, oh, that's from this movie Buried Alive? Or...
Yeah, that was the scene that occurred to me when I went on the mission to find it, yeah.
Was this one of those things where you remembered a scene from a thing you saw one time and you had no clue what it was, and you had to, like,
I had to search
figure out what the movie was?
I remembered enough that it didn't take me too long on the old Google, even a few years ago, to find it. Yeah, but that scene what got it started. Yeah, kind of. I think. Yeah. Yeah, and there's another...
Sounds unpleasant.
There's a scene where a guy stabs himself in, like, the abdomen with a syringe when he falls, right? And you don't want to do it. And also, do you remember there was a show on the televisor called Rescue...
On the television?
called Rescue 911.
Oh, what, with William Shatner?
Yeah, I think he was the host. Yeah, they did, like, reenactments of 911 calls. I think this was when 911 just went national, and they did I think the show was kind of like a way to publicize it a little bit. But yeah, they would do really shitty reenactments of real 911 calls. It was fucking weird.
Yeah, man, I remember that show.
There was an episode where a teenager is babysitting this young boy, and for whatever reason, he was bringing like a kitchen knife, like not a big one, but like to cut pie or some shit. He carried it into the living room, and he fell and stabbed himself with it when he hit the ground. And I think I saw these two things like right around the same time, and it instilled a lifelong fear in me.
I could totally picture like the janky filter they put on the reenactment.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I mean?
looked like
Where
they were
it's
shot with a camcorder too. Like
it looks like it's not slow mo, but it's like choppy and it's gray.
Yeah.
And I
Little
can
blurry.
picture it all.
a little blurry, yeah. And it was like it happened in a living room too. Like the kid was walking from the kitchen to the living room, and the babysitter was watching TV. It was like an old. In my head, I remember it was an old. I never want to look this up because I don't want to watch it and see how terrible it is.
It'll unlock some horrible memories.
Or that, maybe. Yeah, but there was like a huge console TV. You know, she's just watching TV, and this little fucking kid comes wandering in and just falls, and all of a sudden, there's a stabbed child to deal with.
Blood.
But I've always carried a knife blade down ever since.
That's how you're supposed to do it.
Well,
We
I
all learned
that-
something
I
that
learned
day.
that later working in a kitchen, but it was a good habit. Thank you, Rescue 911, for the fear and the trauma. And
It's
the lesson.
important.
It's good. I mean, people think all trauma is bad. If it's like just bad enough, it's enough to make you never forget. You know, you don't want too much trauma, but
No.
the right kind of little trauma when you're a kid, you remember shit. You know, you don't
Yeah,
stab
man.
yourself.
Sometimes you gotta burn your hand on the stove so you don't touch it later.
I mean, I've stabbed myself, but never that way. So, knock wood. But yeah, buried alive, man. It's carpentry.
Jeez.
It's Poe shit, like, you know, entombed.
Oh, what, like cask of Amontillado or whatever?
Amontillado, yes. An unction of Monont. What is
I
it?
got an unction of a Montebank.
I still remember the teacher explaining that Amontillado was like sherry. It's sherry, right? I think it's sherry.
It's wine, I think.
Yeah, well, sherry's like a wine. It's fortified wine. Yeah, I don't know, man. You should check this movie out if you ever come across it.
Buried Alive.
Yeah.
Give it a score out of 10.
I don't know. I'm gonna say it's like a 7.5, maybe a soft 8.
So
Soft
like
8.
a little bit of a diamond in the rough. Something from way back in the day that bears rewatching.
Yeah, it's really surprising. The 4x3 and the like obvious TV movie quality kind of throws you off at first, but
It doesn't look like it should be good, but it is.
Man, it sucks you right in, man. Once it gets going, it doesn't stop, and it's pretty. Yeah, it's fun, man. It's fun.
How can I find this?
I'm gonna have. I
I'm
now
gonna have to come over and borrow it from you.
I now have 2 copies, so you can borrow the DVD if you want, and I'm going to have 3 copies soon because there's a sequel.
Did you buy a 4K one?
No, it doesn't exist. I checked. There's a sequel called Buried Alive 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, and Tim Matheson is in it, but he also directed it. So it was also made for
you
TV.
ran with it, huh?
I feel like I saw it once. I feel like I thought it was the original one, and then it turned out to be. I'm like, what the fuck is this? A sequel? Years and years ago on TV, but now I need to know it is not streaming anywhere, like anywhere.
Well, yeah. Why
At least
would it be?
The original is actually like on MGM Plus or whatever the fuck that streaming service is. The sequel ain't nowhere, but I did find it for like $11 for a double feature DVD type of thing with the original.
So you now have 3 copies.
I will, yeah. It's going to show
Buried
up
Alive.
yeah. So you can totes have one.
All right, man. Good to know.
It's a good one. I think you could watch it with the wife. I think it'll.
Well, I'll suggest it.
She likes murder mystery stuff, right? And or is it only true crime?
No. She likes murdery stuff, mystery stuff, but she shies away from things that are old and dated. How much does this movie feel like 1990?
Well, I mean the clothes to a degree, but like I said, it's a small cast. It's not like it takes place in a city or most of it takes place in a house. There's no cell phones, but
she watches old movies like Jaws is a classic, Halloween's a classic. Other than that, though, if something's old, she's like got 1 foot out the door already. So
I mean,
it
it's
might take some
1990,
convincing,
you
but
know.
I'll try.
All right, man. Well, you can watch it yourself.
I'll watch it myself.
You can watch it by yourself in the garage
Yeah, I'll just go hide somewhere.
with a sixer.
Dad, what are you doing under the bed?
Dad, why do you have sodas hidden in the rafters? Those are dad sodas. Stay away from those.
Hands off.